please set yourself up either seated or any other way that you could feel very supported and at ease. And get any of your props. So you'd be using the usual block or block-like thing, strap, rolled up object for some core work. Once you're settled, begin to shift into what we call yoga ceremony. So this time that is a protected space for you. You could close your eyes or settle your eyes to one thing. And often what that can do is signal the brain that something is happening. Right? So directly related to the brain, literally so connected physically. Just giving yourself this welcoming way. I already heard some beautiful landing breaths happening from the pros that are here. And what I know that everyone who is here right now knows is that this journey of yoga requires steadfastness over a huge amount of time for many of us. It is a marathon, and continually coming back to the basics and refreshing what it is we're doing, adjusting, revitalizing, and seeing what is it do we need today. Continuing to soften the eyes of the way to access the brain and the whole channel from brain to gut. So this gut-brain connection is often what we're working with in the neurology aspect of yoga. And this term of sometimes called neuroplasticity, sometimes called neuroplasticity. Either way, it's this hopeful, optimistic thing that we can change. We can keep learning. We can keep refining what we know and relieve our own suffering. And so thinking about this basic definition of compassion, of the desire to relieve suffering, and just seeing where that lands for you today. This desire to reduce harm and increase buoyancy. And the way we'll do that is to work with basic moves. So one of the down-regulating basic moves is relaxed neck. So just sensing here and using your hands if it's helpful to check in with your neck, which will give you information about your brain. Begin to assess what is the quality of the tissue in your neck. What is the quality of energy? Often we tense the neck for many reasons, often to give us a protection from not feeling pain in the core and the heart. So just seeing where you can soften the neck so you're accessing this whole central channel. And depending on what you can track internally using this skill of interoception, the ability to scan and track your inner environment, one of the mantras that I'll offer that works for me is, I care about this suffering. And it often redirects energy from overthinking to dissociate back to the fact that I care. And that in and of itself can relieve distress. And so 8 of these basic moves are about slightly taking the nervous system safely up into a safe, upregulating response in order to get a more effective downregulating response into rest and digest. So we'll play with that today. Coming to the next basic move of active hands and feet. Feel for spreading the toes and the hands so you can get a sense of the tissues and the energies, running energy from the central channel through your limbs. And then coming to taking your active hands somewhere onto your ribs. See where you feel drawn. It could be sternum and floating ribs in the front. It could be side ribs, maybe trying a few hand positions. And just see where you can actually factually get a hold of this structure and sense you holding you. See where you can get this soft, wide, nourishing breath. Exhaling, relax the neck, relax the jaw. And then particularly getting into the side ribs, like you're trying to touch the sides of the room, lifting and widening the ribs. Just finding that dance of putting focused effort without causing stress. And then taking your hands, creating some friction for yourself. And just seeing if there is a spot that could use some extra attention in the neck and head area. If there's another spot you'd like to work with, feel free. And just sensing your brain. So this belief that every piece of change that we want to make is often directed from learning to work with brain flexibility. And just fascinating upon what does that even mean to you? Getting the right fuel of the form of the breath. With exhale, using it to soften the muscles. Allowing your ears to open up like a reaching for the furthest sound that you can hear, sensing the vestibular system, and then relaxing the hands, and then beginning to take, similar to what we've been doing, taking some experimental movement to see what gives you a sense of the tissues around the scalp, around the skull bones, around the eyes. Sensing your own energy, your own spirit, taking up space, moving out through your eyes, blessing the space, and also receiving that, giving and receiving. And then from here, coming into circling the clock. So for today, keeping the skull bones as neutral as possible, begin taking your time and just circling all the way clockwise a few times. Close eyes, take a full breath in, pause. Exhale everything out like you're popping a balloon. maybe fluttering the lips. And then we'll take that to the other side, looking up, circling down, perhaps blinking as you go counterclockwise. And then when you're ready, close eyes, take a big breath in, pause, exhale everything out. And then from there, please come to a seat if you are not already, getting on your sit bones, and see where you can, to the best of your ability, stabilize, getting the front and the back of the hip points even. And let's come into some seated bird wings. So active hands in bird wings. Stretch your hands open. I know a lot of us have some joint stuff, so of course, adapting this to whatever you have going on. But as much as you can, back of the hands parallel to the floor, stretching across the heel of the hand, almost like you're going to make a 90-degree angle from the middle finger to the thumb. And just sensing that, and the chain of what you do with your hands is going to affect the neck and shoulders, right? So maybe doing a little squeezing to warm up. Inhale, using that contact of biceps to ribs to get the expansion of the ribs. And then on exhale, forearms move out. And just sense when you get your very first tug, like I get it even right here, talking in my shoulders. Squeeze the elbows in, shoulders down, shoulder blades down. And then keep going. Inhale. And then just finding as much as you can information about how do your active hands connect to your shoulders. Squeeze elbow tips in, shoulders down. Maybe do one side at a time. Feeling the chain of the fascia that connect this mysterious connective tissue. From here, keep the right elbow plugged into the side ribs, shoulder down, shoulder blade down, and then take the left ear to the left shoulder. Add in a little bit of a jaw release, wet the lips, and then rub the lips. And then you could either, if your neck is tight, cradle your head, or to increase the stretch, reach over. And again, it's ear to shoulder partially, but it's also about lengthening the skull bones up and away from the top of the spine. So another assist, you could press your hand to your crown and reach your crown up and away. And then from there, tip of the nose towards the upper chest. Keep breathing, lifting across sternum. Roll the head forward, massaging into the brow point, put your head back up. Other side, bring the bicep to the side ribs, come into your bird wing, pin the elbow in, shoulder and shoulder blade down, keep all of that, and then take the ear to the shoulder. Notice the difference in the two sides. Keep breathing into what's showing up. Cradling the head perhaps, or reaching up and over, lengthening skull bones from the top of the spine. Use the exhales to soften what's showing up. Keep the hand reaching in a way that helps you to wake up your awareness. And then from there, tip of the nose towards the upper chest. Perhaps fluttering the lips. And then taking the heel of the hand, massaging into the brow point, putting your head back up. Take a moment here. And then from here, sliding shoulders up, and then shoulders come down. Starting with just up and down. Sensing perhaps one side at a time. What is the scapular mobility? Do those shoulder blades move? And then let's squeeze the shoulder blades. So keeping the front ribs softening in and down so you get more information. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, squeeze the top tips of shoulder blades. Keep squeezing and then drag down. Focusing in on middle shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale, keep the shoulders down. Squeeze middle shoulder blades. Keep squeezing. Drag down. See if your active hands make a difference. And then inhale, bottom tips of shoulder blades. Squeeze bottom tips of shoulder blades, Shoulders and shoulder blades move down. Take a feeling breath into upper back. Inhale, shoulders up, shoulders straight back. Squeeze top tips of shoulder blades, drag down. Inhale. Squeeze middle shoulder blades. Keep squeezing, drag down. Stage 3, inhale, exhale, squeeze bottom tips of shoulder blades. Play around with the arm position to see what actually gets you in there. It's a trickier part of that usually. And then from there, take a moment. So we'll do one more shoulder thing here, and we'll add in some lower body stuff. So either coming into half knee pile or knee pile. So knee pile would be bending both, I'll show it from the side, bending both legs, left leg under, right leg over. And let's do left arm up, right arm down, grab your strap. Or you can straighten out the bottom leg. And just see where you can get into thumb down on the right. Wrapping the left bicep toward the ear and reaching the elbow tip up. Getting on both sit bones. Take breath into right shoulder, and then any amount, take the right shoulder and shoulder blade down. And then keep the opposition of reaching up and down simultaneously. Experimenting with your neck. So for me, looking right ahead, straight ahead is feeling like the best option. You could look down as well. See where you can get the breath into shoulders and chest. And then let's take that to the other side. Take a feeling breath in between sides. And then we'll do right leg under, left leg over. Left arm up. Excuse me, right arm up, left arm down. Point the thumb down. And then make any adjustments here, getting on both sit bones, spreading through the feet so you're keeping the lower body connected, even though the focus is the upper body. Take a big breath into right shoulder. Exhale, wrap the bicep towards the ear and reach in a way that moves the upper arm bone away from the joint. Place your mind into left shoulder. Exhaling, shoulder down, shoulder blade down. If that is a skill that you have learned in practice, how to direct the breath into an area, noticing you can do that. And at one point you could not do that. You're acknowledging your own learning. Reach elbows in opposite directions. Getting a sense of moving the humerus away from the glenohumeral joint of the shoulder, ball and socket joint. Play with the neck. See where it feels the most compassionate to be looking. And then from there, closing your eyes, take a feeling breath, releasing the pose. And come on down to your back. Give yourself a moment to arrive. Getting the outer edges of the feet parallel, almost like you had wet cement and you wanted to make some footprints to the best of your ability, sensing this even pressure across the feet. And then see where you can use your focus breathing, placing the mind into the back bottom ribs and kidney area. And then from here, we'll do some arm glides. So option to add some weight with blocks or objects to activate the pose a bit differently. Bring the palms facing up by the torso. Keep this even press into the feet. Pick the arms off the ground, hands are active. Inhale into the back ribs and the side ribs. Exhale, glide the arms out and up across the floor. And then keep going at your own pace here. Like you were making snow angels, using this as a diagnostic for the chain of fascia from active hands all the way through into shoulders and upper back and neck. Feel when the arms get further away from torso, it gets a bit different because the load is more.
So boring, Karuna. Oh. Oh.
And then from there, let it go, let the arms come back down. And grab onto your rolled up prop. If you don't have a rolled up prop, no problem. Just using a strong reach through the inner legs. Reach the legs straight up. If you have tight hamstrings, fine and bend the knees. Just keep the knees over the front hip points. Active feet, see where you can, as if you were gonna put a footprint on the ceiling. Wrap around the base of skull bones. Pick head and chest up, and then relax head into hands. Squeeze onto your prop, and then inhale across the back bottom ribs. Squeeze prop again, curl the tailbone up, and then on exhale, curl up, reach both elbows to the right, pulling the low abs in. Inhale through center. Squeeze prop like you're trying to send it forward. Curl the tailbone up, and then on exhale, both elbows reach to the left, low belly pulls in. Inhale, come back to center, squeeze prop, curl the tailbone up, and then on exhale, both elbows reach to the ceiling, low belly pulls in. Coming down a few inches, inhale, squeeze prop, curl tailbone, exhale, both elbows reach to the right, getting off the right shoulder if you can. Inhale to center, squeeze prop, curl tailbone, exhaling, elbows reach left, getting off the left shoulder, so it's a small twist. Low belly pulls in, inhale to center, squeeze prop, curl tailbone, exhaling, elbows reach straight up, low belly pulls in, head and chest comes down, inhale, go through one more round, squeeze, curl the tailbone up, exhaling, elbows reach right, low belly pulls in, make space in the shoulder girdle, reaching elbows, inhale to center, squeeze prop, curl tailbone up, exhale, elbows reach left, low belly pulls in, inhale to center, squeeze, last part here, curl tailbone, exhaling, elbows reach straight up, low belly pulls in, and then head and chest come down. Place the prop to the side and either feet together, knees wide, or knees together, feet wide, seeing what feels better. And then seeing where you can keep getting into where your attention can be high quality. Keep using your basic moves. Let's come into bridge. So reset your feet, outer edges of the feet parallel. Arms could be out by the torso, palms facing up. Inhale across the back bottom ribs. Exhale, as you lift the hips up, send the thigh bones forward. You could either have your prop to your inner legs or keep using your inner legs. And then using that metaphor as if you were making footprints in concrete, wet concrete, trying to make an even footprint. And then using this pose to continue to see where you can keep the neck relaxing. And then we'll do one round of Uddiyana here, relaxing internally, fill all the way up. Exhale everything out. When you're empty, keep the breath out, pull the belly back, lower down. And then relax internally, inhale, fill all the way into the belly and anywhere else you can access. And then keep that. Roll onto one side, come up to tabletop. And then from here, sometimes called quadruped, bring your hands forward, just about a hand's width distance, so it's not a 90-degree angle, it's a little bit forward. And then the same thing, as if you were trying to get an even print into wet concrete. Press into your hands. For many of us, there's this cupping in the index finger and the thumb. See where you can almost get a 90-degree angle or reach for it between the middle finger and the thumb. Again, adjusting for your own joints and tissues. And then from there, deep bend in the elbows, send the elbows towards the floor. Give yourself a self-assist. Press hand into elbow, elbow into hand. Keep the inner hand grounded. Either gaze to the mat or look towards the navel. And then do that on the other side. Reach elbow into hand, hand into elbow. Keep the inner hand grounded. And then do that. Pull the hands towards the knees. Elbows keep reaching to the floor. Chest is going through the gate of the arms, and then straighten the arms. Feel for breathing into upper back. And then keep going here. Bending elbows, squeeze elbows in. Pull hands towards knees and feet. Heart reaches forward. Look forward without crunching the back of the neck. Straighten the arms. Deep bended elbows. Squeeze like you had a beach ball between your elbows. Heart reaches forward. Straighten arms. Front ribs toward back ribs, breathe into back ribs. Do that a couple more times at your own pace. Press the ground away, press into the tops of the shins. And then from there, come back to your tabletop. Press the ground away with the left. Pull, pull, pull with the right. Keep the hips fairly even, reach the arm up. Move the right shoulder blade towards the ceiling and then take it through in a way that helps you to feel your shoulder girdle being nourished. Keep coming in and out of those. Feel free to add an object into your right hand to increase proprioceptive stimulation. And then from there, reach up. Take any movements here that continue to give you information about your active hand and the chain of tissues all the way to the neck. And then switch sides. Press into tops of shins. Press into hand. Pull back. Opening through chest muscles. Reach up. Getting a sense of moving the left shoulder blade towards the ceiling and then take it through. Keep coming back and forth. Keep pressing into tops of feet. And then again, taking some free movement here. Nourishing the joints, making space in the joints. When you do get a sense of moving your own bones, noticing you can, so you're affirming your own learning, come back to tabletop. Let's come into dolphin. So elbows come down, wrap around the triceps so you really get elbows underneath shoulders. Option 1, clasp hands. Option 2, forearms parallel, palms down. Using that metaphor of wet concrete, get weight all the way through elbows, forearms into hands, whichever variation you're doing. Whichever variation you're doing, get your shoulders and shoulder blades away from the ears. And then when you're ready, curl your toes under. Use your low abs to pike the hips towards the ceiling and back. Think about taking your hip points back towards the upper back corner of the room. Find to keep the knees bent if it keeps you aware of the pelvis. Keep breathing. If you like, lifting one leg at a time for a few breaths. Use the power of that reach to take the thigh bone away from the hip joint. Front ribs moving towards back ribs. And then gently place knees down, sit back into embryo. So it can be really nice to place a prop under your head. Let the arms relax by the torso. And then feel for this uptaking of energy from the previous pose. And then from here, come back to tabletop. We're gonna come right into lunge. Scoot the left leg forward and then press into the top of the shin. And then just play with that front and back so you get into how do your active feet affect your ability to track your hips in space. Once you're there to what feels like it gives you something worth hanging out with, bring your hands onto pelvis and see where you can get front hip point and back hip point as aligned as you can. And then reach the arms up. Use that reach up to create space in the lateral sheath of the body and adjust. If your shoulders are tight, opening the arms differently. Spinning pinky fingers in to get the shoulder blades moving towards the armpit. And let's take it into a side bend. Hold on to the left hip, lift ribs, reaching up and over. And then again, feel for your active hand, wrapping shoulder blade to the basic moves. Expanding ribs. Coming up and over, let's say take it back into plank. So you decide knees up or knees down. Evenly pressing the ground away with arms and legs. Evenly pressing the ground away as you lower. Lift your right leg, reach the thigh bone back and roll the inner thigh to the ceiling, doing that on both sides. Let's come into some cobra push-ups. So hands either under shoulders or forward. Keep a strong reach through inner legs and posterior chain. Pull the ribs forward and up. Reach the heart forward to come down. Do about 3 or 4 of these. Feeling into applying basic moves. Feet active, hands active, deep breathing. Expanding and telescoping ribs. Relaxing neck. When you are ready, hands on your shoulders, press the ground away. Come into down dog. So hands are a bit ahead of shoulder line. Bring front ribs towards back ribs. And then from there, step the right leg forward. And again, play with it so you're compassionately working with your first lunge on this side in this class. See where is the front of pelvis and back of pelvis. And then lift the ribs. Wrap shoulder blades. Press the ground away. Press into the back shin and both feet. Hold on to the right hip, telescope, reach up and over. And then softening front ribs in and down. See where you can get the breath into the side ribs. Come on up, step up using your blocks if that's useful. Belly to spine, flat back or rounding up. Telescope ribs. Open chest and shoulders, hands come to touch. Take another feeling breath here. We'll come right into the next set of actions. Sweep up, lift up, open chest and shoulders, soft knees, hips back over ankles, let the head go. Inhale, right leg is stepping back. Come into your lunge. Step back into your plank, lower all the way down. Let's come through Shalabhasana. Reach back, and then from here, lifting legs, lifting shoulders, either hovering the hands or interlacing the hands. Crown of the head reaches forward. Legs are solid. Lower down. Come through your table, down dog. Find that even press of the ground away. And then this time, let's take left leg forward. Sweeping up, press the ground away, and see how that helps you to find this rebounding effect of rising. Step back into your plank. Lower down. Reach back through each leg. And then from here, let's come into some shoulder shrugs in both. Lifting chest, lifting legs, hover the hands about 6 inches away from shoulders. Inhale to upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, elbow tips. 2 more. Inhale, broaden upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, elbow tips. Inhale, broaden upper back. Exhale, squeeze shoulders, shoulder blades, elbow tips. And release. On exhale, press back, front ribs towards back ribs, front hips up and back. Take a feeling breath through the whole chain of inhaling through arms, exhaling, kick out through legs. Right leg comes forward into lunge. Wrap shoulder blades, active feet, active hands, deep breathing. Frame the front foot, step up. Come on up. Lift your ribs. Open chest and shoulders, hands touch. Chair pose. So either hips width distance or big toes together, outer edges of the feet parallel, hip points back, sweep up, get way into your feet. Feeling for that sense of making footprints with both feet. And then get into, can you expand into the side ribs and the back ribs? Adjusting arms as needed. Straighten legs and fold. Step back into plank. Lower down. Come through cobra. Either hands under shoulders or forward. Get as much articulation into your basic moves here. Active hands and feet. Telescope ribs away from hips. Press back into down dog. Let's come into warrior one, back toes curled under. Left leg comes forward. Bend into the back knee. And then play with basic moves. Active feet. Front of pelvis and back of pelvis even, otherwise known as tucking tailbone. And then let's come back into our bird wing, revisiting bird wing. Stretch across the palms. Inhale, lift ribs. Exhale, forearms come out, elbows tweeze in, shoulders and shoulder blades come down. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, forearms come out, elbows tweeze in, shoulders down, shoulder blades down, gaze soft. 1 more. Elbows come out, kick into the ground, lift the pubic bone, shoulders down, shoulder blades down, and then release arms, sweep the arms up, come into brain cradling. Keep giving your legs breath support, lengthen the skull bones away from the top of the spine, wrap the elbows forward, come back any amount. Feel for wrapping shoulder blades here. And then from here, we'll come into a pyramid variation. Bring the torso up, straighten into the front leg and the back leg, perhaps grabbing your blocks. Extending the spine first, and then folding. And if it feels like it's worth repeating that setup, extending spine, hips back, hips even, and fold. Feel for lengthening the left big toe. Taking the outer left hip back and under, roll the right inner thigh back. And then from here, rebend the knee, hop the back foot forward a bit, and we'll set up for vertical split. So blocks are a great prop here. Lift the leg, straighten the standing leg now again, and then engage your basic moves. Relax the neck, either look towards the navel or anything that feels the most struggle-free. Kick through both legs, spread through the feet. And then from there, lengthen the leg as you lower, step back into your plank. Come through either your cobra or your upward facing dog. Reach back strongly, telescope ribs. Heart reaches forward to lower down. Hands under shoulders. Press the ground away, down dog. Inhale, pulling in energy through arms to heart. Exhale, sending energy through legs. Warrior one, back toes curled under, right leg steps forward. Set it up, active feet. Tuck tailbone. Bird wing. Active hands. Kick into the ground to keep that feedback of activation in the lower body. Inhale. Exhale, forearms tweeze out, elbows tweeze in, shoulders and shoulder blades drag down. Inhale, stage one. Exhale, forearms move out, elbows tweeze in, shoulders down, shoulder blades down. One more time here. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze and drag down. Let the arms come down. Switch up the interlace. Brain cradling, lengthening back of skull bones, breathing into those 6 muscles that move the eyes right at the base of the skull bones. Keep reaching strongly through the elbows so you're making space and activation in the shoulder blades. Track the right hip back and under, bring torso up, and then pyramid variation, straighten both legs, grab your props. Inhale, extend the spine, exhaling, fold, repeating that if it's interesting. Feel for grounding the whole of the right foot. And then again, check in, moving shoulders and shoulder blades down the back. Spinning the inner left thigh back towards the back of the room, tracking the hips in space to even them out. Deep, deep breathing. And then you can rebend the front knee to hop the back foot in, reset your blocks. Relaxing neck, and then using the power of your legs, vertical split. So you could do a little bit of an open hip, and then roll the baby toe down to close the hip, using this standing leg like a pillar. Feel for the viscous release that you can get from waking up these powerful muscles in your legs and the lower body. Kicking through both legs, keep breathing. Lengthen the thigh bone away from the hip to lower down. Step back in a plank. Let's do both with hands on sit bones. Reach back through the legs, walking up the hamstrings until you find the sit bone area, the low glutes, lifting legs, lifting shoulders, lifting chest. Back of the neck stays long. Curl pivot bone towards navel. Press the back of the head towards the ceiling and then forward. Take a couple more breaths here. You could tweeze elbows towards each other. And release. Perhaps pressing the forearms into the ground, feeling for the hands, making contact so you keep experimenting with refining your understanding of basic moves. Press back into down dog. Taking any movements here that help you to keep understanding how to breathe into the back ribs. Bending knees, tweezing front ribs towards back ribs, looking forward and either hopping or walking forward. Come up to stand. And then from here, let's come into warrior two. So we'll take that wide stance to set up warrior two for our purposes today. Breathing in a way that helps you to keep coming back to this central channel and this compassion practice. What part of this can you do today? Pivot the left toes, bend into the knee, and if you have the mobility, pick up the right heel and spin it out so you're rolling that thigh in. And then just play with, where do you want to be in this pose today? Taking any adjustments here and then reaching through both arms. For bird wing, keeping the gaze forward, getting into both heel points, pubic bone lifting, inhale, exhale, shoulders down, shoulder blades down, reach across the palms, and then rolling arms forward, slide shoulders up, broaden the upper back. Inhale, palms up, Shoulders down, shoulder blades down, looking up slightly. Exhale, roll arms forward, slide shoulders up. Keep going at your own pace, experimenting with finding feeling connection between parts, active hands all the way up through relaxed neck. And then stay in your lunge. Let the arms come down, hold on to the right hip, lift the ribs, come into reverse warrior, wrap the shoulder blades, stay in the lunge. And then see how you can use this to get into the lateral side of the body. Use the warrior two heat of the legs to create more releases where you need it in the rib cage and the neck. Extend to warrior with chest opener. Come back to warrior two. Forearm on the thigh, shoulder down, shoulder blade down. Reach the arm about 45 degrees from torso. Exhale, bring the arm behind the line of the torso. Looking to one spot. And then see where you can, again, use the heat to create warm releases where you need them in your chest muscles. And you can keep coaching out space with that forearm on the thigh. Bring the arm back in line with the torso and then down. Come on up, straighten the front leg. Pivot both toes forward. Other side, give your legs breath support. Pivot the right toes forward. Pick up the back heel and spin it out. Bend into the knee. Maybe you need a wider stance. Reach through both arms. Inhale, palms up, shoulder down, shoulder blade down. And then come forward. Sliding shoulder blades up. Alternating between these two shapes. When you come back to palms up and shoulders down, stay. And then from there, hold on to the left hip. Lift ribs, reach up and over. Wrapping shoulder blade, breathing into the side body. From there, bring torso up. Straighten the front leg, pivot the toes forward. Coming into a forward fold. Telescope ribs. Hinging forward. Activate your feet and legs, and then from there, take it walking over to one side, breathing. Taking it over to the other side. Come back to center, hold on to the legs, come up to stand. Heel toe the feet back together. And then from there, find your Tadasana legs and start swinging arms like ropes. So big breath into heart, chest and lungs. Exhaling. And then just see where you could flick a bit to work with active hands, just to free up those meridians a bit more. And then find a way to come back to a seat. Sitting on sit bones. Coming back to this desire to remove suffering. And then imagining your close circle, the people who are in that circle around you. And you could either be specific or just sense who is close to you in a general way. And keeping your hands relaxed, feeling for the energy that you've generated through your core to move out through your heart, through your hands to that close circle. And sensing your care for and being cared for with that circle. Giving and receiving, giving and receiving. And then bringing one hand to belly, one hand to heart. Practicing the advanced pose of uptaking, where it is that that care exists in your life, soaking it into your core. And if you are able to do that, noticing you can, so that you're building your self-confidence in your ability to empower yourself and trust yourself. And then from here, please find your way onto your back. And let's finish with a double-legged spinal twist. So coming into half Shavasana, pick up the hips and shift them about 2 to 4 inches to the right. Inhale, knees to chest. And then on exhale, both legs move over to the left. Right arm comes out, palm up. Using any props to bring the floor up to you. And please take the left hand somewhere that you feel drawn to on the right side. And letting yourself feel how we've gone on this arc of a bit of hopefully safe upregulation into downregulation, rest and digest. Keep guiding the breath into expanding the ribs and relaxing the neck. Legs come back through center, recenter the hips. Pick the hips up over to the left a few inches. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, both legs over to the right. Left arm out, palm up. Take the right hand somewhere to the left that you feel drawn to. And even within the microcosm of yourself, feeling for how you are receiving and giving compassionate presence. And then taking your right hand over your actual physical beating heart. Sensing the other hearts that are in yoga ceremony with you right now. Co-regulating even when we are in different spaces. And then resting in that co-regulation, releasing your twist, Shavasana. Celebrating that whatever amount of effort you just made was exactly the right amount, and that now you get to rest. And rest is this profound form of trust. Begin to hone your attention in on the sensation of the breath as it touches and expands the lungs and stretches the ribs, changes the shape of the torso in space. Thanking yourself for this piece of the puzzle, this long-term practice. Taking all the time you need to transition onto one side. And then from the horizontal plane, pressing into the ground, feeling the transition back up to the vertical plane. Letting the weight of the pelvis root you down, pressing into sit bones, spreading through the toes, and then growing your spine tall. Breathing into your brain, blessing your learning process and this learning and practice community with your breath. Bringing your hands to touch to seal our time together. Thank you for sharing your practice. Thanks, everyone.
Karuna, beautiful practice, beautiful cues. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you.
Karuna,
Yes, dear.
is all that bird wing stuff, is this time of year, like just from being cold, why that felt so like
Or, well, I'll let.
first it felt so important. I could
Word, that's a better word.
and I really sort of felt myself like unfurling at the end, whereas it hurt in the beginning.
Yes, yes, that is exactly what I experienced. And those of us everyone here, I can confidently say, are hugely empathic. There's so much going on and we're feeling it all and it's like, oh my gosh, like it just gets like clogged in there. So that sounds like some learning is happening. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Karuna.
It's so good to see. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Karuna. Thank you, everybody.
Here, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
I'm sending you a little.
Thank you.
Have a good day and good week, everybody.
Thank you.